So I will get into that election down the road because there is simply too much to say regarding that election. What ends up happening, of course, is Hillary ends up losing, Donald ends up winning. And when that happens in November 2016, on that Tuesday, by Friday, everyone had kicked me to the curb. So the CIA was just everybody at NBC Universal, Time Warner, of course. Everyone was just livid. CNN, MSNBC, you name it. They were distraught. They were like depressed. The way that I was depressed, I basically said into the iPhone, I kept my mouth shut for 2 or 3 days. And I said into the iPhone, now all of you know what it feels like to be me. And all my constitutional rights, everything trampled upon. Everybody's having a field day. Seema Modi, idiots all these idiots were like laughing. Bill Maher. Who is this guy? Seriously. He's a clown. What does he know about politics or anything? Everyone at all these networks, including Jeff Zucker, everybody, Noah Oppenheim, Andrew Lack, you name it. They put together, possess an iota of the potential that I possess just through my intellect, my knowledge, my wisdom. I'm not going to get into this. I don't want to talk about me. I've been through enough. This isn't about me. This is about the United States. This is about Andhra Pradesh. This is about the future of India. Once I was kicked to the curb, I had no more influence over Donald Trump and his incoming administration. No influence over the cabinet picks, except for at the last second in January, I believe, 2017, after Trump had already become president. It could have been February. He basically selected Nikki Haley as our UN ambassador. I hate Nikki Haley. I had suggested that they bring in a third-party, independent Indian American to serve in the cabinet. And of course, Nikki Haley is not third-party. And of course, she's not really like a true Indian American. I don't know. Her name's not even Nikki. Everything went to shit, for lack of a better word. After that, I had threatened to actually come forward for the very first time after all these years to the CIA and said that I'm going to write a book about everything that happened, about what happened. And right there, those last two words were used to encourage Hillary Clinton to actually write a book about the election. The reason why she called it What Happened was because of my statement at that time. I believe it was November or December 2016 that this occurred after the election. I'm going to move on to the next topic, which is how and why the Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, proceeds to kick the Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh at the time, Chandrababu Naidu, to the curb. Prior to this, they were very close. Again, that was because of me, and that was because of the CIA and American government that encouraged these relations, that told Modi, prioritize Chandrababu Naidu. Of course, Modi did not know why. Of course, the reason for that is because my blood comes from Andhra Pradesh, to be specific, West Godavari district. Both my mom and dad are born and raised in West Godavari district and went to the United States in the 70s. I will continue with that, and I will skip much of Donald Trump's presidency. All of this will, of course, get divulged in the future by said media outlets regarding these events, whether it's, the JCPOA or Cuban Thaw, both of which were destroyed by Donald Trump due to his own ignorance and lack of knowledge of geopolitics or American history, political history, economics, finance, etc., etc., etc. Donald Trump isn't me, nor is Narendra Modi. You can ask Barack Obama yourself. He will concede to that. You can ask any clown at CNBC, MSNBC, CNN, Comedy Central, HBO, CBS, ESPN, ABC, etc., etc. All the networks that were involved in this matter. So when Donald Trump wins that election, Narendra Modi kicks Chandrababu Naidu to the curb, very much like how the CIA kicked me to the curb after Trump's election win. Modi and the central government in Delhi, run by BJP, essentially slow down the funds for the continuation of these two projects. To be specific, the construction of the new capital city for Andhra Pradesh, Amaravati, and the Polavaram Dam project in, where else? West Godavari district, where my parents are from, where my blood comes from. What bothers me about the GST scheme that was implemented in 2017 after Trump was elected, and clearly the United States played a large role in the design of the GST brackets, is that the very products that were associated with good hygiene, such as shampoo, soap, toothpaste, mouthwash, these products were being taxed at 18%, and of course, the poor are not going to be purchasing these items when they have to spend enough money on food itself. It's very disheartening to see the callous approach that the CIA and even the media outlets that were elevated in this whole process, who in all likelihood played a role even with the GST, had made sure to tax the very goods that would have helped promote a clean living in India. India is not a very hygienic country. Unfortunately, the Brahmins ruined these people with ridiculous superstitions, bathing in the rivers, defecating in the rivers, killing off the very wildlife that Hindus have long professed they love. The irony is a bit too much. And what's even worse is that you've got Seema Modi at CNBC. You've got other Indians involved in this matter as well, in the surveillance itself, sitting there translating my Telugu, if I ever use it, on a phone call, participating in all of this. You've got an Indian guy running CNBC at the time, an actual Indian American. The guy is actually born and raised in the US. This is insane. I mean, there were several Indian Americans involved in all of this and have been involved to this day that are actually born and raised in the United States. Mind-blowing. Just wanted to mention how the GST scheme, the whole idea of instituting a national tax in order to build roads, hospitals, fund scholarship grants, even open up new universities, research-based universities in India. Everything homegrown instead of how China has done it, where China has had everything given to it for free from corporate America, from the United States, from corporations like Apple. It would be nice if India got treated the same way. After that, in May of 2019, Modi, with the help of YSRCP candidate Juggin, steal the election from Chandrababu Naidu. I was in India at that time in 2018 and 19. After stealing that election from Chandrababu Naidu and the TDP, they basically got destroyed, they got swept. I spoke to a lot of people leading up to that election. I did not meet one single individual, whether it be in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana or Tamil Nadu, anywhere that I was traveling in those 15 months that supported YSRCP, Juggin, as the chief ministerial candidate, or for any MLA seats or MP seats, anything. So I knew. I was here in May of 2019. I watched that election. I woke up a little late that morning, I believe 9-ish or so, and by 11 o'clock in the morning, Chandrababu Naidu and the TDP got destroyed. I knew immediately, this is definitely the United States. This is, without question, being done by Modi with the help of Juggin and YSRCP with American and, to a little extent, Israeli backing. Now, over the years, Andhra Pradesh got ruined. Corruption like India has never even seen before. And India is very well known for political corruption. Grafting is standard practice. But what Juggin did was outright theft. Now, it was revealed that Modi was using a spyware program by the name of Pegasus, created by a private company in Israel called the NSO Group. No question in my mind, Mossad, Benjamin Netanyahu, Mossad is Israel's spy agency, gave that program to Modi in order to use it against political opponents such as Rahul Gandhi, Congress Party, Chandrababu Naidu, TDP, even in Tamil Nadu, West Bengal. This Chief Minister Revanth in Hyderabad, Modi became extraordinarily corrupt with the attention he was getting from Barack Obama immediately after getting elected. Again, that was due to me. But also while Donald Trump was president as well. Donald Trump's final foreign visit before the lockdown was to India. He visited the Taj Mahal, actually saw it, which was my suggestion to Barack Obama. And so all of these things revolved around me, all these years. You've got to understand that I've been under surveillance and I'm still under surveillance, even in India, on both my US phone and my designated iPhone for India since 2010. So I'm currently under surveillance, even right now. And I will get into all of this stuff down the road. Unfortunately, a bunch of lunatics in the United States with way too much power on their hands created in the first place. You know, in September of 2023, only about 8 or 9 months ago, Chandrababu Naidu was put in jail. And initially, it was said that he would only remain in jail for 14 days. I was watching from the US, and of course it had been a month. And I think it was about 40 days in that Lokesh started crying about this, started complaining that my father's health is declining. You know, Chandrababu Naidu, I don't know exactly how old he is, but I believe he's about 75 or so. This is insane to put a guy like that in jail. And I understand it was due to grafting, and I had immediately understood when he was put in jail that his phone and the devices of others in the TDP are without question hacked through Pegasus by Modi. This was all being done by the United States to essentially steal another election from the TDP. And I was already preparing to head to India, to come here. I had already been posting videos on YouTube. I had joined Twitter. I had been trying to get some of the aforementioned independent journalists in the US to get involved in my situation, to get my story out there. I understood that I would probably have to head to India. I had the ability to come forward in India, knowing a movie actor and understanding that I can pretty much put an end to all of this very quickly. I had called this movie actor's aunt and had explained to her this entire charade. I spent about 45 minutes on the phone call, and even texted her afterwards, sent her the links to a couple of these videos that were posted on YouTube. Told her to have her daughter watch the video because she would not be able to understand the matters that I discuss in the videos. And her daughter would be able to explain it. This auntie has been living in the United States for 40 plus years, but really doesn't know anything. But her daughter is born and raised in the US and would certainly be able to understand these videos because I'm speaking in English in those videos. I said, if your nephew were to share these videos with just 2 or 3 big movie actors in Hyderabad, such as NTR Jr., Ram Charan, Mahesh Babu, or Allu Arjun, I literally said those names, then I guarantee you within hours of those guys sharing my videos, Chandrababu Naidu would be released from jail. Now you've got to understand, the CIA is sitting there and listening to all of my phone calls up until this day, but even back then, a few months ago in the US. So with that phone call and those text messages where I'm spelling out everything, and I asked this auntie to share everything with her daughter, and her daughter would go through everything and watch it and share everything with her nephew as well, who is a movie actor in Hyderabad for many years, and it will be done. I can save Andhra Pradesh at the very least. After this phone call, about 36 hours later, Chandrababu Naidu was released from jail. Just like that. Why? Because the United States really is controlling Modi and has been controlling Modi as a puppet because he doesn't know anything. He's just a useful idiot, one of many for the United States, such as Saudi Arabia, such as Israel. There's many of these guys. And the big reason why I came to India was to basically guarantee Chandrababu Naidu and TDP's election wins, from CM to MLA positions, everything that they lost back in 2019. I wanted to get it back. And then on top of that, it would be very easy, much easier for me to come forward here in India as opposed to the United States, where many Americans are emasculated by liberalism and hypnotized by capitalism. A lot of Americans have become feckless idiots. They don't really have the stamina. They don't really have the courage, as opposed to India, where you have so much poverty. And the people in India really don't have anything to lose. So in the US, they're kind of like spoiled children. And, you know, Americans will agree with what I'm saying. They understand. When I was speaking to my mom in January, because of the election taking place in May, even those phone calls were being listened to. And the following month, Modi started approaching Chandrababu Naidu and befriending him, trying to be chummy with him, despite the fact he was clearly the guy that put Chandrababu Naidu in jail for 50 plus days, until I kind of spoke to this auntie. Since February, Modi has been trying to get cozy with Chandrababu Naidu all over again, like as if nothing happened in the past. Now, there's much more to this that's been going on since April 15th, when I landed in India. Today is, I think, June 5th, I believe. So I'm finishing up this video today. The election already happened, the counting, everything. I know the results. And I know what's going on right now with cabinet kind of selections and this and that with Modi. Modi does not have a majority. He's really eager to get Chandrababu Naidu's support so he can get some sort of majority. And no matter what happens, I hold all the cards, regardless. The United States is very anxious about me coming forward, as are the television networks and everybody that has been involved in this affair going back to 2012. Unfortunately, it started with Josh. Josh, too, has been kept abreast of this entire situation all these years. I don't know what to do about Josh, but I'm really here posting this video for the security of India, to guarantee that the United States will never do anything like this ever again, since this introduction of Pegasus by way of Israel to the BJP and Modi. The television networks, specifically CNN and CNBC, they made financial commitments to a collection of networks called News 18, owned by Mukesh Ambani, of course, a Gujarati billionaire. And I will talk about the importance of creating a corporate billionaire conglomerate alliance between the Gujarati guys that fall under this category in India and Modi and the BJP. So I will talk about this down the road. I mean, this video is getting long in the tooth, so I can always talk about this stuff when I come forward and I no longer look like the Indian version of the Unabomber. But, even since my time in India over the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks, I've noticed that many of the things that I will talk about with various Indians in Andhra or perhaps even Telangana have been used by CNN News 18 specifically. I watched this unfortunate disgrace of a news channel in India because it's on every day while I'm eating breakfast at a hotel in Vijayawada, Andhra Pradesh. So I've noticed on pretty much on a daily basis, this network is basically taking a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about while talking to other people around me, or perhaps on phone calls or in text messages. It's the same old crap that would happen back in 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16, during the election, even 17 after Trump was elected, and so on and so forth. It's happening again in India. So these guys never quit, but they're obviously going to quit now. The hacking, everything will end, targeting opposition parties. However, this is Modi. This is the BJP. They have shown all of you just how pathetic and low IQ, unsophisticated they actually are. So, after this story gets out, it's going to be the final nail in the coffin for this party and for Modi going forward. So I just wanted to bring up that alliance between the United States and now Mukesh Ambani. So let me be clear when I say the following. The CIA has expanded Operation Mockingbird, that is its direct control over American corporate mainstream media outlets such as CNBC, NBC, MSNBC, CNN, even garbage like HBO overseas to India. So that is CNN, News 18, CNBC. These News 18 networks under Mukesh Ambani are very much working together with the American government in propagandizing the Indian public here in India. So please look up Operation Mockingbird. It is very important to this entire story. It's a critical element to how all of this kind of snowballed into a much greater matter involving Donald Trump running for president, while he was an employee of NBC at the time, to the propaganda, the lies, the pathological lies from guys like Jeff Zucker, these asshats at CNBC or MSNBC, whatever. I mean, even Fox News was involved in a lot of this. Starting in March of 2016 was the very first time that I started to have an influence over that network. Tucker Carlson, who was a popular anchor at Fox News, was hired immediately after Trump won the election in November of that year. Because of me, I proceeded to control his program every evening, 5 nights a week. At least one of the stories that he would cover each and every night actually had to do with me. This is an insane story. It is going to shock everybody. This is catastrophic to the United States, but in a good way. It's catastrophic to all of the elements that have been necessary in propagandizing the American public, distracting them, ensuring that they never know the truth, that they're not paying attention to what their government is doing. The media outlets, their fundamental and critically important role in functioning as a bridge between the government, the corporate sector in the United States, the bankers, and of course the plebs, poor, the middle class, the rich too. Anyone that is not a part of the 0.01% of the population. So please look into Operation Mockingbird. It was shut down briefly after the Church Committee in, I believe, the late 70s, but it was revived by the mid-80s in order to prevent news outlets from ever discussing the crack cocaine epidemic that targeted Black Americans beginning in the early 80s, and the United States ongoing coups and just various other matters in Latin America. Operation Mockingbird certainly was thrown on steroids after 9/11. And I think many Americans, if you speak to them, they'll agree with that. After 9/11, nothing has been the same in the United States. And unfortunately, as long as the United States is able to operate on Indian soil, it's just a very ominous future for India. You do not want to get in bed with the United States because they will destroy you. The tribe that runs the United States is a cancer. They behave in a very parasitic function, and they essentially suck the blood out of the nation. So you can ask any European nation state this, ask any European royal family, and if they are sincere, they will agree with what I just said right there. It's unfortunate to say these things, but you guys need to understand that I am under surveillance even right now in India, because these guys fear that I'm inevitably going to come forward. I am already speaking with journalists here in India, so this is going to happen no matter what. And this is the end of American empire once and for all. Now, I will get into many other matters involving Israel, involving the US and India later. But I think this video thus far is enough for those of you who speak the English language to understand the gravity of the situation and what I'm capable of doing when I do kind of take off the disguise and am not so uncomfortable about losing my anonymity going forward. So thank you very much for watching. Please share with everyone, share with Indians living in the US who are fluent in the English language, were born and raised in the US like myself, and can understand all of this. Any terms that I bring up, I will try to post them in the description so you guys in India can look them up in English and learn what these concepts are. Thank you once again, and take care.